once again.
What is up guys, it's Mad Richard, and today on this episode of my tutorial series I'm going to be showing you how to create a river/lake. And of course for this tutorial I'll be using plugins, the World Edit plugin and the Voxel plugin, so if you want to follow this tutorial I recommend just installing it on your server, and if you don't have it already you should, because they're really good for map making. Alright, so the first thing that I want to say is you should watch my last tutorial, and it shows you how to use the basic brushes like the ball brush, so I don't really want to explain this episode, but I will run past it briefly. So to start off with, we want to mark out where we want our lake/river to be by creating a hole in the terrain. So we do /b space b. This is the ball brush, and we need to set our voxel to air by doing /v space 0. 0 is the ID for air, and also to change the radius of the sniping, you do /b space. I'm going to pick a size brush of 5, and yeah, you want to click with this around where you want your lake to be. I'll make it fairly small for this tutorial, but you can do it whatever size you want. You'll just generally have to escalate whatever I do in this tutorial. So now we have our sort of first layer. We can make it deeper at the bottom, which I will do now, just by one ball like this. If you do it too much, then the slope looks too sort of steep for what the lake should be. And now I've done that, we want to get rid of these weird sort of dirt bits that come up around the balls. And that no sexual pun intended, I swear to God. So the brush for that is /b space bb. This is the blend ball brush. I'm going to stick with a voxel size of 5, and you want to just gently tap around the edges like this. And as you see, it will also erode the grass around it, so it looks like it's kind of sloping in as well. And you can fix that if you want to, since I don't know why it's going that square, but we can fix that later using the erosion melt brush. So now we've gone over it with the blend ball brush. We want to sort of make this look less sort of all of a sudden it sort of drops, and we want to sort of get rid of that. So we do /b space e space melt. This stands for brush erosion melt, and this basically erodes the terrain with the arrow and pulls the terrain with the gunpowder. If you don't know what erode means, it means to slowly break away rocks. So yeah, we are going to keep with voxel size of 5 and tap from here, looking around the edges. Keep on tapping like this until you reach sort of this sort of slope. It's kind of one slope goes along a bit, then another slope, so we want to get rid of that. So we keep clicking with our erosion brush like this until we get a gentle sort of gradual slope with a sort of a gradient of 1, which is generally a 45-degree angle. And we could randomize the bottom bit, since it looks fairly perfect, by lifting it with a smaller brush size, so /b space e space lift. And then I'm going to pick a small brush size of 3, doing /b space 3. Then click a few times around here to make it all seem a bit more random, which is what we sort of want. So now we have this all randomized. I want to smooth it once again by doing /b space bb, and then I'm going to set my voxel size to 5. Then you click around here, and then not too much around this bit here, otherwise it will just get rid of the uneven bits we created earlier. And once again go around edges like so. And you'll get these bits. You could change these by hand by just filling them in like this, or what you could do is use the /b space E space melt, and use the gunpowder to bring the bits forward, and it'll bring it in sort of a natural manner. Alright, so now we have our shape. What we want to do is fill this in water, and you may rush by just filling this in with water using World Edit, but that's really not how a lake would be. That at the bottom of a lake there would be reeds, weeds, and stone and sand and clay. So we want to add that in, but you may be wondering how, but the easy option with Voxel Sniper is to do /B over D, and I'm going to choose a depth of 5, and then set Voxel to whatever block you really want. I'm going to choose sponge since I know that it's quite easy to mark out and see. So generally just where you want sand and cobble and stone and clay to be, you use the brush, just holding it. Okay, so I have overlaid the area I want to randomize with sponge, and we can kind of see in a rough sort of shape the sort of rectangle that it would be, and we want to change the sponge into a random block. So we want to get the rough distance. We could use the Voxel ruler brush by picking the deepest point of our lake and do /B space R. And this is the ruler tool. And you right click with the arrow and then go to one corner of the rectangle of a rough shape and keep breaking the blocks down using gunpowder, and look directly at the Y change. If it's -10, that means it's 10 blocks below the area, the bottom of that, so that should be fine. So what we do is you can either use //wand and right click or left click there, but we could do //pos space 1. /pos. That's all one word, it's not a space, I just remembered. And to quickly get rid of that, just get some grass. And then with the top part of the lake, we go to the other corner of the rectangle, that would be the area of the lake, and do //pos2. Now we've selected the area, we want to randomize the sponge, so what we do is //replace sponge space, and then the whole sort of list of items we want. So I'm going to do 40% sand, and then comma to separate the next block, 10% stone, 10% cobblestone, 20% gravel, and what else is there? 10% dirt, and let me check, that's 40% sand, 50%, 6%, 80%, and 10% of, let's say, stone brick. And as we can see now, the area where that was sponge has now been randomized, which looks a lot better than just having dirt all the time. It looks really, really more nice. I really do recommend doing this instead of choosing dirt. It's a little sort of detail or technique you can use to make your map from good to super mega dope awesome. Yes, super mega dope awesome. And next thing to do is fill this in with water. So the way we can do that easily with World Edit is /fill, and then the variables are /fill space water. Then the radius, I'm just going to choose 10 for the moment. Depth, I'm going to just choose 10 again, and then it creates the water here. And you could just do this again and again if your server isn't very good, doesn't have much RAM, but since the server, I believe, can handle it, I'm going to choose a much larger radius of 50. And there we have it. This is our lake, and I really love the shader. It makes the water look a hell of a lot nicer than the standard default one. So yeah, this is the conclusion of my lake/river tutorial. If you want to do this for rivers, it'll generally be the same, but there won't be much of an ending until you get to a beach where you can randomize it, so it's mainly just sand. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe if you have not already, and leave a comment down below. What tutorial do you want to see next? And as always, have a good day, and ta-ra.